If you're thinking about becoming a nurse in the UK, but you feel overwhelmed by the entry requirements, the degrees, the placements and the different routes, this is the video for you. Hello, you're on Shift with Sian, the platform that empowers student nurses with the knowledge, the tools and the support to build confidence in practice. There are multiple routes into nursing and they've not always been clearly explained. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the main routes into becoming a registered nurse, who each route is suited best for, and what a nursing degree actually involves and why nursing is very different from other university degrees. To work as a registered nurse in the UK, you must be registered with the Nursing and Midwifery Council, the NMC. This means completing an NMC approved programme and meeting national standards for education, for practice hours, assessments and professional conduct. No matter which route you take, everyone who becomes a registered nurse meets the same NMC standards. Route 1 then is a traditional university nursing degree. This is the most common route and you often apply through UCAS to study a BSc nursing degree. This is usually over 3 years. You choose one field of nursing, so adult, children or paediatrics, mental health or learning disability. Now the entry requirements to get onto one of these nursing degree courses is usually an A-level or an equivalent, often including a science, GCSE or equivalent in maths and English, and you'll have an interview and values-based assessment as well via the university. The funding for this often comes from student finance for tuition and for maintenance. You can also see if you can apply for an NHS Learning Support Fund as well. I have wrote a blog about how funding works for students and student nurses. If you go to my website www.shiftwithsian.co.uk, I'll put the link for that. It's all about bursaries, grants and student loans, as well as other budgeting friendly tips for student nurses. I'll leave that in the bio. So this traditional route is probably best for those who are school leavers, college students, or those who want to prefer a structured academic route into nursing. If you don't meet those requirements, don't worry, because there is an option for anyone who doesn't meet those nursing degree requirements to jump onto the degree programme. And this is by doing an access to nursing course. This is usually a year's course that you do before to gain the entry requirements onto the degree programme. The entry requirements for the access to nursing course is usually a GCSE or equivalent in maths and English, and often healthcare experience. Now this route, the step before onto the traditional nursing degree, is probably best for those mature students, career changers, and people who are returning to education after a long time. The next route is a nursing degree apprenticeship. This is an earn while you learn route. You are employed by an NHS trust while completing your nursing degree part-time. So you'll still complete academic study, you'll still complete placements, but you might have to do some extra evidence or paperwork throughout your degree to satisfy the apprenticeship route. You'll also find that when your university is on break or study leave, you may still be contracted to work in those hours. Entry requirements for a nursing degree apprenticeship are that you usually have to already be working as something like a healthcare support worker or assistant. This is usually an internal post, and employer support is essential, so your ward manager will have to agree to this. This is rarer than other routes, so keep an eye out for openings and befriend the practice education team. Funding for this then, so your tuition fees are usually paid by your employer. That means no student loans to repay. You receive a salary as well, but it is likely to be a band 2 healthcare assistant wage. This is best for those who are already healthcare assistants, people who need financial stability while studying, and those who prefer a more work-based learning approach. The next route is through the Nursing Associate with a step-on route to registered nurse. This route is often overlooked, but it's a very real pathway into registered nursing, and it's also the pathway that I took. So what is a nurse associate then? So a nurse associate is a regulated role, registered with the NMC, and you still have a PIN number. Nurse associates support those registered nurses, often having their own caseload of patients. They deliver hands-on patient care, but they do work within a defined scope of practice. For example, they don't diagnose, so they'll follow care plans and not initiate them like registered nurses do. This is often a band 4 on the agenda for change payroll. So how you become a nurse associate then is by completing a nurse associate foundation degree, and it's usually 2 years to do this. Often it's done by an apprenticeship. You are employed while you're training, and that means that you still get annual leave, but you do have to work when the universities are off. I just want to pause for a second to ask you that if you're finding university overwhelming and you want clearer explanations of assignments, expectations and placements, I have a new book that's coming out in my Nurse in Progress series. Book 1, Beginning, is written for first year student nurses, and it's coming very soon. You can join the waiting list on my website to get early access. I'll leave the link for that in the bio. After qualifying as a nursing associate, you can then apply for the Registered Nurse Top-Up or Step-On programme. This is usually an 18 months to 2 years course, and it leads you to getting a BSc nursing degree. It allows you then to register again with the NMC, but it opens up your PIN number restrictions that you had as a nurse associate. So your PIN number will stay the same, but your restrictions that a nurse associate gives you will be taken off. Now, not all universities offer a step-on programme, and competition can be high, so planning ahead is important. Who is this route best for? So those who are already healthcare support workers, wanting a graduate role, those wanting to build a little bit of confidence before full nurse training, and people who prefer learning in practice first, or perhaps you can't afford to leave work to self-fund a degree. So what does a nursing degree actually involve? So no matter the route, nursing degrees are very different from most other university courses. You will have placements, which means that around 50% of your course, you'll be on placement on wards, in the community, and working with real people. You'll have shift work, which means doing those long 12.5-hour shifts, or you'll be doing nights, weekends or bank holidays. You'll be assessed in practice by registered nurses, and practice competencies must be achieved for you to pass. You'll still do academic work, so you'll still complete essays and assignments, reflections, exams and OSCEs and Vivas, which are practical assessments. Everything must link back to patient safety, evidence-based practice and those professional standards. So why is a nursing degree different from other degrees? Well, to start with, you're accountable to a professional regulator. You're also assessed on your safety, your communication and your conduct. Placement performance matters just as much as your academic work does, and you're actually preparing for real responsibility from day one. This is what makes nursing demanding, but also incredibly purposeful. There's no single best route into nursing. It all depends on what works for your circumstances, your learning style and your life commitments. Whether you start as a student nurse, a nursing associate or an apprentice, everyone who qualifies meets the same professional standards in the end. So there are plenty of ways for you to get into nursing, which is remarkable because no other career gives you so many routes into a profession. And if you're at the very beginning, book 1 in my Nurse in Progress series is coming soon. So get on the waiting list for the ultimate heads up for first year expectations with study hacks and placement advice. And if you found this useful, please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel to provide more nursing advice to those future nurses. Be kind to yourself. We've got this.